Like Other Girls by Britta Lundin, this is the second YA novel I've read in the last month with a Butch protagonist. You love to see it. The other being Girl Man's Up by Girard. If you liked either of these books, you will like the other one. I think they have a lot of similarities, but they also have a lot of differences. They're both unique in their own ways, but they cover a lot of the same topics, and they both really do a pretty good job nailing the teenage Butch experience, and I really liked them. Although they do sort of like different sides of the same coin. I'll compare them more later, but for now I will get into a quick plot summary of this book, Like Other Girls by Britta Lundin. I vow not to ramble here. Our main character is Mara Diebel. She gets kicked off of the girls' basketball team at her school for getting into a fight with another player. In order to rejoin the basketball team next season, she needs to prove to her coach that she can join a team sport and be a team player. Reluctantly, she tries out for volleyball because it's basically the only other girl sport happening at the time, and she hates it. She thinks the girls who play volleyball are really straight and girly and vapid, and she doesn't really get along with them. She doesn't see herself as one of them. So instead she tries out for the football team. She likes football. Her brother is the quarterback. Her best friend Quinn is on the team, and she knows some of the other guys on the team, and she's very much one of the guys. She feels comfortable here playing the sport that she likes. She's really tall, she's really muscular, she's been working out, she's really built for this, and she knows she can really do it. She feels in her element playing this manly sport as one of the guys. But then 4 other girls from the volleyball team see her trying out for the football team and think she's making some kind of political statement about how girls can do anything boys can do, and that football shouldn't just be a boys' sport, and that there should be a girls' team, or girls should be allowed on the team. It's this whole thing. And so they also try out for the football team. But none of them have played football before. They don't really know what they're doing. They kind of make Mara look bad, because now she's one of the girls, and all of the guys are like, oh, these girls are sort of ruining the team. They're getting all this press about how there's girls on our football team, and no one cares about the guys on the team who have been doing this for years and have been practicing for years and playing for years and trying to do this. They're just making it into this big publicity stunt thing. We look weak because we have all of these girls on the team who don't even know how to play. And at first Mara is also annoyed that these girls are doing this and sort of demoting her in the eyes of all of the guys around her. She sort of loses respect because she gets lumped in with these girls just because she's also a girl. But then she learns that some of the guys on the team are kind of shitty and aren't really good friends with her, even though she thinks of them as friends. They're not very good people. And she also learns that these girls that she looked down on for being too girly or too vapid or too outspoken or having different priorities, they're actually really nice people, and they actually do care about sports and they can learn to play. And they are doing this for a social cause, but maybe that's an okay thing, and maybe she misjudged them. And so we learn about friendship and sisterhood and not looking down on other women and fighting sexism and all those good things. We learn the power of friendship. So that's the plot of the book, if you're interested. I didn't talk about any of the gay shit, so here's some gay shit. It is a plot-heavy book rather than a character-driven kind of piece like Girl Man's Up was. But again, there's a lot here about butchness and sexuality and identity and perception and the way you are perceived. As a woman, as a big woman, she's 6'2", she's lifting weights, she's very muscular, she's gay, but she is in the closet, actually. She is butch, in the sense of who she is and what she likes and what she does, but she isn't visibly butch until about halfway through the novel. She cuts her hair really short. She is in the closet. No one knows that she's gay, even though she's not that subtle about it. She just hasn't told anyone, and she thinks some people know, but she doesn't want it to be a thing. She's scared her parents won't accept her. She's scared her friends will think it's weird. She's scared of how the other girls will look at her. But she knows she's gay, and she plans to move away for college and then get to really come out and butch up and be gay and be the type of woman she wants to be. She has a crush on this girl, Valentina, who joins the football team with her, which she kind of likes, but is also oh, you're killing my vibe. But she does like this girl, Valentina, but she doesn't know if she's gay. She just has a crush on this girl. There is one other out gay girl at the school. Her name is Carly. She also joins the football team. She is the girl that Mara gets into a fight with on the basketball team and gets kicked off the basketball team for. So Mara and Carly are rivals, but you get the sense that they don't actually hate each other. You really feel Mara's jealousy because Carly is out and she's able to be out, and she's very outspoken, and she's kind of the leader of this publicity thing and like talking about the sexism in the school and like trying to empower women. And Mara is very much like jealous. She's like, you don't know how lucky you are that you get to come out. You complain about everything, but you have cool parents who let you come out, and you just get to be outspoken and be your true self, and I don't get that. And so I'm like mad at you, but not really mad at you. I'm just mad at the situation I'm in. And Mara thinks that Carly dislikes her too, but you can tell that like Carly like kind of knows that Mara is gay and is like kind of looking out for her and sort of wants to be friends, but Mara is just like too standoffish for that. And so, you know, possibly there's a romance there. It's kind of a love triangle thing. It's like, is Valentina gay? Does that work out? And then can she repair her enemies to lovers arc with Carly? I didn't say that correctly, but you know what I mean. Will they talk and discover that they have more in common than they think they do and sort of reconcile their differences and get past the jealousy? Could they be friends, or could they be more than friends? We also have a queer mentor character, which is definitely something that's missing in Girl Man's Up. Not missing. Some people don't have that, and in that story, that girl just doesn't have any other queer people in her life except for the girl that she ends up dating. But Mara works in some kind of like supply store. She lives in like farm country. Her parents used to own a bunch of farmland and like sheep, and they have chickens and stuff. So she's living this like very rural life of like manual labor and building things and that kind of thing. It's pretty butch. But she works at this sort of supply store. I don't know why I can't think of like an equivalent right now. But they do also sell like animal food. It's like a fucking Tractor Supply. She works at Tractor Supply. One day a woman comes in, and she is an older butch woman. She's new in town. She needs help building a chicken coop. She's got all this land herself. And so she employs Mara to help her like build this coop at her house and do all these things. And really it's Mara. Mara sort of gets herself employed here. She's like so fixated on this woman. She's never really seen another butch. It's very much a Ring of Keys moment where she's like, whoa, this older woman and her short cropped hair. And like she's got this leather jacket on and like these boots, and she looks so confident and cool, and that's exactly the type of woman I want to be. And so she just like keeps talking to this woman, sort of bothering her as a customer service worker situation. But the woman's like, no, you know what? I do need help with this stuff, and you seem to know what you're doing, kid. And I'm like, the woman's name is Jupiter, and I'm like pretty sure Jupiter immediately knows that Mara's a little baby gay. So she gets to spend time talking to this older queer woman. Her parents don't approve of that. They think Jupiter's like weird, too butch. She's an outsider. She's from like Portland. Oh no, Portland. And her parents aren't super cool about Mara spending so much time with this like random older gay lady, older predatory lesbian. There's a good scene where Mara gets drunk at a party and like is getting into a fight with her friends and has nowhere to go and ends up going to Jupiter's house. And Jupiter sort of takes care of her, but is also like, I can't really take care of you. Like, I want to help you here, kid, but like, I cannot have a drunk 16-year-old sleeping on my couch as a 35-year-old woman looking like this. Like, this is not gonna go well for me, and also your mom hates me. So like, if anyone finds out that you're here, like, I'm fucked. Like, be realistic here. I really like Jupiter. She's a great like role model, and she says a lot of good things that Mara needs to hear. Like when Mara is talking about all the girls on the volleyball team and how they like do their makeup before practice, and she's like, I don't understand that, they're gonna get sweaty, like it's so vain. And Jupiter's like, yeah, but like it's harmless, so like why are you insulting like these women who are just having fun and doing their own thing and not hurting anybody with that? Like maybe you have some internalized sexism going on there. And that sort of forces Mara to confront all of these not so good ideas she has, or like not so good perceptions and like projections that she puts on other people. And that really helps her grow as a person. So Jupiter's like a great mentor character. Jupiter also Butch for Butch. Let's go. I've been trying to find more Butch for Butch books lately, and it's It's a struggle. It's a struggle. Jupiter's actually dating a non-binary lesbian named Reese. Mara gets to see them as this like successful, land-owning, committed, older queer couple. She gets this vision of a life that she's never seen before, and again, they're from Portland, and Mara's been thinking about leaving for college, and so she's able to ask all these questions about what was it like living outside of the city, why did you come back, Reese is from this town. Like she just gets a lot of perspective from these people, like this older queer couple, and it's really good for her, and I really liked them. And it's some fun Butch for Butch rep. It's sort of side characters. Jupiter's a pretty major side character in the grand scheme of things. I kind of wish there had been more of her at the end, like one final scene with Jupiter to like really, I don't know, tie that whole arc together, but whatever. And then Reese we don't see a lot of. They're actually like out of town for work at the beginning of the book, and then they show up later. But they are there. It is Butch for Butch. And also Mara is like also Butch for Butch, sort of, not really, kind of. She likes Valentina, who's like a skater girl. And like she's not like Valentina isn't super butch, because like all the other guys on the team also talk about how hot she is. So she's not like that butch, but she's not like super overly feminine. And she's talking about Carly at one point, Mara is, and she's like, she's too girly for me. And so you get inklings that Mara isn't like super butch for femme exclusively. And I like that. Even if she doesn't actually end up with a butch in this book, she's still open to butch for butch. I'll take it. Name another YA book where a teenage butch lesbian is like, I want to date another butch. I can't name one of those. If you can, leave it in the comments, please. Oh, but that's the gay shit. I like the gay storyline. I liked Mara coming into herself and eventually cutting her hair and just like doing the things that she wants, maybe earlier than she expected, but like she just wants to be happy, and she kind of stops caring what her parents think. She stops trying to please other people. She just is trying to do her own thing and ignore all of the assumptions people make about her because of the way she acts or the way she dresses or the way women from her town, her age, are supposed to act. She just really comes into herself. That's really nice. She grows emotionally as a person. She grows in her romantic life. She learns a lot about herself there, and like rejection and love and unexpected love and like things, you know, attraction and things like that. All the good little teenage romance stuff. Her romantic journey is more fraught than the one in Girl Man's Up, where that main character Penn just like immediately has a crush on this girl, and that girl like very obviously likes her back, and then they're in a very happy, healthy relationship for the whole book. This isn't that. Mara struggles a lot more in her romantic life, but it's also, this book is way more plot driven. We're way more focused on like football in the actual season, so now I'll get into like plot stuff that I like, or like the actual writing of the book. I liked how focused on sports this was. I don't know anything about sports. I do not play football. I don't know the rules to football. But I learned some things here, but it's not like so overly technical that it's boring. But it feels like a novel about football. Like this feels like a sports novel. I've read other sports novels. I'm reading one right now where it's about field hockey players, and the main character is obsessed with field hockey, and yet most of the book is like her personal drama and like her relationships and her friendships, and like we're not actually on the field hockey field that much, but this, like, we're on the football field a good amount of the time. Like we're in practice, we see all of these games, and like we really see their progression, and we really get like this sense of time and like growth. There's a point where they're in the game playing, and one of the girls is like, wow, remember on like that first day of practice when Mara taught us how to throw? They're like, wow, that feels like forever ago. And you as the reader are like, yeah, that did feel like forever ago. Like, wow, you guys really have come really far. There's a good little through line of Mara lifting weights. She starts in her house lifting water jugs. And then she's like, this is starting to get too easy. I'm trying to hold 2 jugs in one hand. It's not really working, but I'm going to do it because I really want to jack up, get buff, and be strong and like really like work on myself. And I really like doing this, and I love working out multiple times a day and like getting better and like feeling myself get stronger and like feeling really comfortable in my body in that way. And then she graduates to using the school gym, and she talks about how like her shirts fit differently. Like, you really get, like, a sense that she's actually, like, stuck to her goals, committed to this, and, like, slowly beefed up over time and, like, completed this task that she wanted to do and, like, was really determined for. This was good, like, workout inspo. I'm like, man, I need to hit the grind, you know? And it made it feel really feasible. I'm like, yeah, like, if I just stick to a workout plan, I could get jacked like Mara Devil. So the passage of time is really nice, but it does it in this really sort of indescribable way, indescribable for me way, where like it's not boring. Like it's a good pace, and like you really get all the details of like this football season, and like it just works. The pacing just really works here. And you really feel the character growth. You do like these characters. Again, it is more plot focused than like other books I've read, but like you do really feel the character growth, and you see these relationships change, and you see the way Mara thinks change, and it's a good time. It's a good YA novel, good YA sort of lessons. Uh, it's, it's it's just well done. The prose itself, nothing exceptional, but it's also not bad at all. Like it's pretty straightforward. It's a YA novel. I'm not gonna like knock your socks off with like metaphors, you know, but you're not gonna be disappointed. So I found it just it acceptably written. That sounds mean. It's well written for what it is. It's exactly what it needs to be. I think it works quite well. I think I talked about a lot of the things, a lot of the similarities and differences between Girl Man's Up and like other girls. I made a Venn diagram. Like I'm in fucking middle school. Do you guys remember making Venn diagrams? Has anyone used a Venn diagram since middle school? Maybe like the corporate girlies. Do you guys do Venn diagrams? Anyway, I've made a Venn diagram of the overlap between those books. I'll put it on screen for a couple of seconds and then you can pause it and read it if you want to analyze the difference between these books. I think they're sort of different, mostly in plot, whereas this is very plot focused when we're about sports. Girl Man's Up is about a girl who cuts her hair and becomes visibly butch, and that sort of perception of her drastically alters all of the ways people treat her in every area of her life. And it's really like a character study of like just living in this girl's shoes in this world, and like how people perceive her. And whereas this is like a more typical plot sort of driven story. And again, the main character is closeted for a good portion of this book, and we're in her head and we know she's gay, and so like it feels like super gay, but I guess not everyone else is treating her that way, which is very different than Girl Man's Up, because everyone can see that she's clearly a fucking dyke, and that changes the way people treat her. Whereas this character struggles with people seeing her differently than she sees herself, because she sort of isn't visibly presenting as herself all of the time. So they definitely have differences, but they also overlapped in a lot of like funny, like little weird ways. So in both of these books, the main characters are friends with the guys. They don't really have girlfriends. They like to hang with the boys and just do boy stuff. In this book, Mara, like the coach just calls everyone gentlemen, and when Mara's there alone, she's like, yeah, I'm kind of one of the guys, I'll be a gentleman. But then he'll still do it when even like all five of the girls are there, and the other girls are like very girly, some of them are straight. And then Mara's like, I don't know that he's saying gentleman because I'm one of the guys and they accept me. I think he's saying gentleman because he's just completely fucking forgetting that there are women here, and he's just sexist and overlooking that. But both of these characters meet other girls in their school who challenge their perceptions of like what they were thinking about the girls, and then they realize that they are girls and that they are lumped in with these other girls, and even if they are not like other girls, a lot of people still sort of see them that way, or they still see themselves that way. There's still a kinship there, and there's all different types of women, but they're all still women and they're all in the same fight together. And sometimes men are trash. Even the men you like sometimes are trash. Both of these characters have one, like, specific male best friend who turns out to be a dickhead. And also, both of these characters are, I don't want to say assaulted, harassed romantically harassed by their male best friend. And, I mean, it was like minor assault here. Both characters get kissed by their male best friend without consent, sort of unexpectedly. They're both very uncomfortable with it. I think, like other girls, handles that storyline better in that like there's really a resolution. In Girl Man's Up, she never really confronts the boy who kisses her like that. Like, there's no, like, big blow-up scene where she really says, like, hey, you crossed a line. I didn't like that. And in this book, she does talk about it more, and so I think that's handled better in, like, Other Girls. But overall, I think that storyline is much more impactful to Girl Man's Up, because it's a bigger part of the novel, not, like, that kiss specifically, but the relationship between the best friends, and how that gets rocky. That's really, like, the core of Girl Man's Up, whereas this is one of the plots amongst a handful of plots. And so it is done well, but I think in Girl Man's Up it's just so central, so much more fleshed out, so much more focused on, that I do like that storyline and, like, those character interactions better in Girl Man's Up. But I think, like, the resolution was better in, like, Other Girls. But they're both, like, well done, for the most part. In both of these books, the older brother is not a major character. In Girl Man's Up, he's major. In this one, he's just kind of there. In Girl Man's Up, he is very much an ally. He's really looking out for his little sister. He is basically, like, her lifeline, the only, like, good, like, supportive family she has, or, like, supportive friend for a while. And then in, like, Other Girls, her brother's kind of ambivalent. Like, he's also on the football team, and he hears all the guys talking shit, and so, like, he's kind of one of the guys. It's kind of weird for him to have all these girls on the team, but he sort of starts to become more accustomed to liking the girls on his team and, like, speaking out for his sister, whereas at first he didn't. But they aren't, like, super close the way Penn and her brother were. But it's just interesting that they both had specifically older brothers, although the ages are very different. I'm guessing in Mara's older brother is, like, a senior, and then Penn's older brother was, like, 26 or something, like, an adult who could get his own place, and, like, it's a very different storyline, but, like, older brothers. Coincidence. They also both had unsupportive parents. That's a big storyline, especially in Girl Man's Up. Again, like, those sort of character relationships are a bigger focus of Girl Man's Up. But they are well done here as well. But it's a little less prominent than in Girl Man's Up, because this has, like, other things going on. But I definitely recommend both of these books. Like, they were both really good. I gave them both 5 stars. What else can I compare? The covers. I love the cover of Girl Man's Up. I love this. I don't know, like, the color's good. Like, the stance of just, like, leaning against the wall. I think Penn looks cool, and, like, Butch. The award medals look cool. That's a flex. Like, Other Girls, like, on first impression, feels a bit clip arty. Like, you don't look at this and go, I bet that's a 5-star award-winning book, you know? I don't know if it's won awards. I don't think it's been nominated for anything. I don't know, like, how popular it is. But the cover's, like, not impressive on first glance. I do like the character. I like her with the short hair, and I like the pink jersey's, like, a nice touch to, like, you know, solidarity with the girls. And that is her number, 22, so, like, good detail there. Does that matter? The cover doesn't really matter. But I do think this book is, like, better than the cover, like, initial first impression gives you. But either way, I love seeing a Butch on a cover. More Butches in books and on books, please. I recommend both of these. There's not a lot of Butch YA literature. The only other one I can think of is Call Your Boyfriend by Olivia A. Cole and Ashley Woodfolk. That has a Butch character. She's, like, a player. That's a good book as well. That's also 5 stars. I think maybe I just like Butches. Maybe I'm biased toward Butches, but no, these were genuinely good books. But that book isn't really focused on Butchness. It's also dual point of view. We do get some stuff about Butchness there, but really it's about, like, her romantic escapades and not, like, insight into sexuality and gendered presentation and how you are perceived by the world for being Butch and like, not conforming to these expected societal roles. So these are, like, deeper Butch literature, but I think Girl Man's Up is the deepest of it all. It's very introspective. It's very, like, you are in this girl's shoes and you see how the world changes around her when she's able to change herself and be visibly herself. So I think I like this one best, but I did really like Other Girls, and also Call Your Boyfriend. So I think that's it. Read all the Butch books. If you know any other Butch YA, please let me know. I am very interested in reading that. Or Butch adult novels. I will also read that. I love Butches. Enjoy your Butches. Enjoy reading. Enjoy your night. Good night.